Today could be a very exciting day after the market opens, time will tell. Sadoni says we are in the final stages of the education phase on the monetary reform. I went to Mr. Sami, bank manager friend, and I said, what happens next? He said after the monetary reform education, the lower notes will come out. But first the commercials will show them to you. He seems to think it's the upcoming next year for some reason. Frank, the reason why he is saying this is because he is aware that the CBI will meet with the United States Treasury at the end of this year. He may be thinking we need that meeting. Emo, I strongly disagree. I still look forward to Alec returning from New York with a new exchange rate that everyone is agreeing upon. Emo, the commercials are next, because they are already produced and ready to be released. I had an interesting conversation with my CBI contact. It was confirmed that they are moving toward a January 2025 reinstatement. I know none of us like to hear this. We all know they planned for a late summer reinstatement, but that plan failed and the US Treasury finally stepped in to help out. Now we move on to a new chapter and another attempt at it. Question: what is your gut feeling for RV Mark? Marks, nobody knows the timing, but my gut feeling is between the 11th and 15th, just a guess. Crises and events await Iraq if Trump wins, and the reason is Iran's influence. Where are we? We don't like to spread rumors. We don't like to give out misinformation or unqualified information. That's why we stick to what we know. What we know and put out comes from the articles, and gracious me, what do they tell us about where we are? They tell us we have never ever been in a better place than we are now. We are there, at the finish line. This should be our weekend. Anytime, before Sunday. Iraq halts plans to cut zeros off dinar currency. Cabinet article quote, Iraq has over 3 trillion Iraqi dinars in circulation. Plan to trim zeros not seen as priority. Iraq has decided to hold off a plan to knock 3 zeros off the nominal value of the bank notes. Who's the person who said that? Oh, yeah, me? Quote continues, because it doesn't believe the economic climate is suitable, the central bank said last August it planned to redenominate. Isn't that what I said it was called? A redenomination, lopping off the zeros, deleting the zeros, whatever you want to call it. It's a redenomination. Quote continues, the Iraqi dinar to simplify financial transactions in an economy that is still heavily centralized and dominated by oil and where deals are carried out in cash. As usual, I am right about that and they are wrong. All the executive levels of the banks in Iraq are going to sit down with the governor of the CBI Alak and receive instructions on the new currency next week. The Iraqi Ministry of Oil described, on Sunday, the letter sent by members of the U.S. Congress to U.S. President Joe Biden regarding Iraq's assistance to Iran to evade sanctions as incorrect and mere allegations, expressing its rejection of those allegations. Members of the U.S. Congress sent a letter to U.S. President Joe Biden, directly and indirectly accusing several Iraqi parties, including parties in the Ministries of Oil and Transport, the Somo Company, and others, including Iraqi militias, of exploiting and smuggling Iraqi oil for the benefit of the Iranian Treasury and the Revolutionary Guard. The ministry said in a lengthy statement today, everything said in the letter has no basis in truth. The only thing that is correct is what is stated in the text, which are allegations, and do not amount to information. The statement stressed that Iraq is committed to the highest standards of transparency regarding oil production and export, and all data related to this is published regularly, and in detail through official channels. According to the statement, the Ministry of Oil deals only with a number of reputable international companies, including American companies, in the fields of production and marketing, and has strong relations and partnerships with those companies that extend for decades in investing in oil fields in various regions of Iraq and standard contracts according to international transparency standards in marketing Iraqi crude oil. In a letter dated September 4, 2024, the 5 members of Congress, Joe Wilson, French Hill, Michael Lawler, Michael Waltz, and Kevin Heim, addressed the U.S. President, saying that Iraqi Oil Minister Hayyan Abdul Ghani will be visiting the United States soon, as reports indicate that the minister and other officials are involved in extensive sanctions evasion on behalf of the regime in Iran. The members called for U.S. sanctions against those involved, criticizing the failure to restart the oil pipeline from the Kurdistan region to the Turkish port of Ceyhan. The Ministry of Oil considered in its statement, what was said in the letter regarding Iraq's role in helping Iran evade sanctions, are also mere allegations and fabrications that have no basis